In this video I'm going to explain the new scoring system which I'm going to apply to all of my upcoming manga reviews. This way you can easily see what I think about a certain manga. The awards are made up of several categories which are scored out of 10 points. And there are 5 categories which form the word space. So first up we have story. The art might look cool, the book might look nice and the enjoyability might be great. But if the story isn't interesting whatsoever, then that has a great influence on the score. Which is why it weighs in at 4x, which means it contributes a lot to the final score. If the story is interesting, if the story is different, if the story is unique, or just really well executed, then it will obviously score really high, which will have a great impact on the final score. Now we get to the P, the second letter of space, which is physical quality. Now what do I mean by this? Well, you could see, you look at happiness, which I have right here, it does look amazing in my opinion. The book does look really nice. However, when you look at this, these books are really prone to damage. So then, how it looks might be really good, but will actually stay in the shape. It's more so about the durability of a book. Also, does it have a gutter in the middle? For example, a manga which I'm reading right now for a review is Sando. When you look at this page, for example, this text right there is really hard to read. See? So these are some things that are pretty important, as well as the build quality itself. When you look at, for example, No Longer Human, which a review is coming up very soon, it does have a soft cover, but inside there's a hard cover. Now, as well as the spine is very strong, it won't crease easily, and it's also about the looks, of course. So, however, this category I think personally is the least important, because you might have an amazing manga which is amazing on all fronts, but the book doesn't look that great or has pretty bad durability. For example, Vagabond, it's an amazing manga, but why is it not a hardcover for a 3-in-1? With such amazing art, why is it not a hardcover, you know what I'm saying? It gets damaged really easily as well. However, since it's not that important, it only weighs in at 1x. If the physical quality of the manga is bad, it won't really contribute that much to the score. Now then we have art, which is 2x. When it comes to the weighing of the score, which I think art is not that important. You know, you might have an amazing story, amazing characters, very enjoyable, but the art is not that great. Then who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's not that important at all. However, it is a nice bonus. Junji Ito really perfectly gives you the feel of a horror manga. As well as Vagabond. I'll show you a bit of Vagabond. For example, if you were to look at Vagabond right here, it's very thick, it's a this big, about 700 pages I believe. This is a soft cover, which means it will get damaged pretty easily, as well as the spine probably will get damaged pretty easily. However, the art, Vagabond, for what I've seen right now, which is not that much because I've only been reading manga for around half year, this is the best art I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. Like when you look at this, it's art. It's like every panel of Vagabond could be a painting in itself. It's beautiful. And I think that's more important. I think that's definitely more important than the paper quality itself. Now let's get to the second last letter, which is C for characters. This weighs in at 3x because in the end, you're reading a manga and it's about the characters, of course, and you need to have a nice bond with the characters. If you can't really comprehend what they are thinking, or they just aren't interesting, then it won't be as enjoyable to read. Now we get to the last letter, which is E for enjoyability, which weighs in at a hefty 5x. If there's a manga where the story isn't that great, the physical quality isn't that great, the art is alright, the characters are okay, but the enjoyability is awesome, you know, you like to read it and you want to go to the next volume every time, then that's a pretty good manga for you. You know what I'm saying? You might call it a guilty pleasure, but I think it contributes a lot to the final score, as it's just really important. If you like everything about a manga, great story, great physical quality, great art, great characters, but the enjoyability, you don't want to read any of it, then why bother reading it? You know what I'm saying? It's just really important. Now, I've tested this with quite a bit of manga where I would grade it first, you know, let's say a 7.5, round it off to an 8, and you have to have my system to score it again every time I landed spot on the score that I wanted. Which is why this is a system which I've tested quite a few times, and I think it works rather well. I might change it later, but for now I think it's a pretty good system. Now, to go along with this system, I also made up a new logo and some awards. As you can see, I have a new logo, and I also made up some awards to go along with my score, which is obviously out of 10. So when we have applied the space system to a manga, and I graded 1 to 5, which is pretty bad, you have the cardboard award, which is, well, of course, if the final score were to be a 6, which is right here, it will be a bronze award, and it will look like this. It looks, in my opinion, a lot better than the cardboard award, which is exactly what I wanted, because I want the cardboard award to look awful compared to the rest, which is pretty obvious. Then if it scores a 7, you'll get the silver award, which is right here. I think it looks really good. It's a pretty solid score. It basically means, yeah, sure, you can read it. It's pretty good. It's not that great, but it's pretty good. Then we go to the nicest looking awards, which is, for example, when the final score of a manga is an 8, it gets the gold award, which is right here. I think it looks awesome. Gold with some green mixed in. I love it. It basically means the manga is a solid read. Again, not the masterpiece, it's not one of the best, but it's great. Amazing. Definitely worth reading. Then we go to the last two awards. When the manga has a final score of a 9 out of 10, it gets the Platinum Award, which is obviously better than Gold, and it means it's not far off of being a masterpiece, because giving it 10 is very hard to do. It's very controversial. Some might think it's worse than that, and giving a 10 to a manga means it's perfect, which means that I can rarely give out a 10, which is why you'll probably see the 9, the Platinum Award, quite a bit more than the 10. So, let's get on to the final award, which is the 10 out of 10, the Diamond Award, right there. I think it looks rather nice, and this means if a manga is absolutely perfect, right on the spot, 10 out of 10 score for every category, this is what you're getting, a 10 out of 10. Like I said, I probably won't be giving out the 10 out of 10s quite often, because even though I've only been reading for half a year, I'm quite picky on my manga. For example, Monster, it gets really close, it's so good. Good Night Pun Pun, so good, but like 10 out of 10, that's just very hard thing, that's a very hard score to give, because it must be perfect on all fronts. So this is the scoring system which I'm going to apply to all of my upcoming reviews until I introduce a new system, but for now I think this is fine. If you have any questions or any improvements you think to the space system, please leave them down below. Reviews are coming very soon. I have finished reading No Longer Human by Junji Ito. It's an amazing manga. I'm going to review this book very soon. So if you want a review of that, please subscribe or stick around. And there's also a review of Sundome coming up. I'm only at volume one. I'm only at volume 1 right now. But once I've finished it, there'll be a review of that soon as well. Now, if you want me to review a certain manga which you like or you're curious about, please leave it down below and I'll definitely take a look. Now, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.